Okay, today, Tuesday, October 29, 2013, we are about to begin our interview of Edward Swierk, date of birth December 13, 1922, who served in World War II. He served with the 1st Marine Division in the major invasion of Japanese-held islands in the Pacific, namely Guadalcanal, which was in August 7th, 1942, Cape Gloucester, the southern tip of New Britain Island, December 26, 1943, and the island of Peleliu, September 15, 1944. His highest rank being corporal. This recorded interview is being done on Tuesday, October 29, 2013, at 10:15 a.m. in his home in Cumberland, Rhode Island. I, Ed Nawrocki, a registered interviewer for the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, am conducting the interview. I am a friend of Edward Swierk. Assisting me in the interview and camera duties is Mitch Silverman. This interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. Eddie, where and when were you born?
In Woonsocket.
In what year?
22.
What date?
December 13th,
Okay.
1922.
Your mother and father, were they U.S. citizens, or did they come over, immigrant from another country?
No, they came over. They were sponsored by
okay.
different
From what
people.
country did they come over?
From Poland.
Okay. And what did they do for a living?
Well, farming, and my father was a carpenter most of his life. And,
okay, and your mother, what did she do?
She worked in a weave shop, in a cotton mill.
Okay, do you have any brothers or sisters?
2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay. And what were you doing before you enlisted in the service?
I was working in a textile mill. In a dye house.
In Woonsocket?
In Forestdale, Rhode Island, yeah.
Were any of your sisters or brothers in the military?
Both brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
My sister was a nurse, Army nurse. I think she ended up being a 1st lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah, and my 1 brother was in the Air Force. And he was a master sergeant. In fact, he was on a troop carrier and supply carrying plane.
Mm-hmm.
And my other brother was in the army. He fought at the end of the war in Europe, and then came back and went all the way back to the Philippines. Mm-hmm. He ended up in the Philippines after.
How old were you when you entered the Marines?
19.
19?
Yeah. I was 19.
And you enlisted?
The day after Pearl Harbor, my brother said, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I says, I am too. So we went down to Providence, and he didn't pass on account of, he didn't have the right. He had to have some work with his teeth. And then they were still strict as heck, because it was just started. There's still peacetime rules, Mm-hmm. And he couldn't. So he ended up getting his teeth fixed and joined the Air Force. And then I passed, and we didn't leave. We went from Providence. There's a group of us, about 8 or 10. We went into Boston and enlisted about 500 in all. They gave a group, and we ended up taking a train from Boston to Paris Island.
Why did you choose the Marines?
I don't know. He chose it more than I did. I says, "Oh, that's a good idea." I knew I was going to go right away somewhere.
You took your training in Paris Island?
Yeah, we ended up in Paris Island.
How did you like it?
We were running around like chickens with heads cut off. Boy, we got there. We went through this big shed, took all our civilian clothes off, and they shaved our head. Went through the shower, but took us about 3 minutes. Run through, we were drying up and dressing. They gave us some fatigues, and that was it. Then we come out the other side, lost souls, and we didn't. I don't know. They put us in. We were in Paris Island, but they were coming in so fast. All the barracks were full, so they set up 2-man tents and set them on a parade ground. Mm-hmm. Half the parade ground was these 2-man tents. We had a little stove and coal. We wore all our clothes, shoes and all, to sleep because we went through all our walking and drilling, and then when we went to the firing range, they gave us the rifles. We shot the rifles, but it was so cold. We had our gloves on and all. We were shooting. We were just trying to get out of there. That's why very few of us passed the firing range. It was real cold, but they had to rush us through, and sure. And then they gave us more training after. And then we went to the pistol range. I never handled a pistol at all. They gave me a pistol. So they set us up to shoot towards the ocean, and I never fired a pistol. I shot 6 shots. Yeah. I don't know if I hit the target or not, but anyway, then we had to go into the pistol range, and I wasn't setting up the target on the second one from the end, and the guy that fired to the guy to the outside thing, he hit part of the frame and sent a chip, and it hit the guy of wood, and hit the guy in the head. And
did you have any specialized training? Did you specialize?
Well, the only specialized is when we were going overseas. Yeah. Kerry Lane had 6 of us, and he was he talked to us. He explained everything to us on the plane, ship. We were on a big ship, the John Erickson, yeah. 11,000 troops. And we get out to sea, and they found out that the commissary, the guy that handled all the food, made some big deal, and he sold them a lot of spoiled meats and everything there in barrels. Yeah. In fact, I got caught on a work party on the ship, and we were rolling the barrels over into the ocean where they and they got the guy. They sent him back to the States, and I don't know.
What demolition school did you go to?
No, just Kerry Lane's the one that Kerry Lane, and was the only one.
And what was your duty? What would you what instructions did he give you?
On making, we made Bangalore torpedoes, and and how you wire them, and we didn't have much to work with. We just, you know, he had to explain everything. But the other guys were all came from West Virginia. They all came from the coal mines, and they already handled all the dynamite. And
did you adapt to the training and in the barracks and the food and everything?
Oh no, everything was on the go. We got to Australia, to New Zealand on the Ericsson, and right away we unloaded the ship. We were doing it all, you know. We were unloading it, and they were loading these combat ships. Mm-hmm. We'd get caught on a work party, and we'd work about 8 hours straight, go back to bed, and you'd fall asleep, and they'd wake us up and put us on another work party. They just rush, and they finally they had to change, put all the supplies on the different ships.
How long were you in Australia?
Oh, I'd say about a week only.
And then where'd you go after that?
Then we went out to sea, and we were going out there, and then one morning we woke up, and over the horizon, oh my God, we saw a whole Navy by itself. Another pod joined us, you know. Yeah. And then we went into Guadalcanal, and they didn't shell at Guadalcanal as much as the other islands, but we got there. There was no fighting on Guadalcanal at all, hardly at all. It was all on Tulagi was real tough. The paratroops landed on there. They landed in rubber boats, and they had these rising guns. They folded the handle, they only that big. But come to find out, they didn't work. They got wet, and they went in with hand grenades and knives. They were the
Edson Raiders, I think.
No, not that. No.
Because they were paratroopers.
These are paratroopers, the battalion paratroopers. Okay. They really got hit hard.
So now you're going to land on Guadalcanal.
And we landed on Guadalcanal.
Now you're on this transport ship, right?
Yeah.
Now you got what do you got? Higgins boats that are.
Yeah, we are on Higgins boats in this one.
How many men does a Higgins boat carry?
Oh, I'd say about 20, 25.
Yeah, okay. And so you loaded up and you're ready to go in?
Yeah, we went in, but didn't meet any. My job on all three of them was to set up that end banner to know where the end of the landing area for the.
Oh, I see.
So there are two poles and the banner in between.
That's where they were going to land.
Yeah, and then they had to go in between the flags, like, you know. But
so you're ready. You're going in now. The Higgins boats, they all maneuver around till they're ready to go in. Is that what they do?
Oh well, what they do is they circle around, and not so much on Guadalcanal because they were just organizing. There was the other battles. They were more lined up on what to do, and they. I lost my.
That's okay. What time did the assault take place?
In the morning. Yeah, in the morning, just at daybreak.
So tell us your feeling. You're going in now. How did you feel about this thing?
It's a big show yet, you know.
Yeah.
Until the ships was firing over our heads, and. There's some small boats. We saw them get blown up, and we enjoyed that. You know, big deal. Yeah. And but still, it didn't bother me too much. But then we got ashore. All we did was unload ships, though.
You meet any resistance on shore?
No, not there.
You got
We
them
were starting to unload. For 24 hours, everything's going on, and we're unloading the ship, and until it got dark, and then we, instead of getting some sleep, we just dropped these things off the beach a little bit, but then we had to move them in deeper. So they screwed up a lot because we did all the work, our outfit. Yeah. But after that, they straightened that out. They got help from a lot of other outfits too, you know.
Did all the troops land?
No, not all of them. Like I say, the paratroops landed, and then there's another outfit landed on Gavudu. Gavudu wasn't as bad as Tulagi was a tough one.
Tulagi and Gavudu were like next to islands, next to Guadalcanal.
Yeah, they were close together. Yeah.
Okay. So they assaulted all of them at one time.
All of them, yeah.
They protect one another.
Yeah. In fact, after the paratroops took that island, they came over to the.
So you landed, okay?
Oh,
You're on the beach.
On the beach, and we got some. Well, we got some of their supplies and some.
Now, what happened at night?
Oh, they shelled the ships come in, and
the Japanese
the
ships come in?
first night they came, they blasted the hell out of us, and then we knew there was a big fight because our Navy was right in the harbor itself, and we saw these ships going back and forth, the fighting. Then we see a big flash. Oh, it was about 2 days later. The Atlantis, our cruiser, that was hit, and they abandoned it. And they abandoned it where the Japs were, right near the corner of the island. They asked for volunteers. We had to go, and we went in Higgins boat, 2 Higgins boats. Yeah. We were going to circle around Atlanta so the Japs wouldn't come from where they were to take any supplies that they could get, you know. But we didn't get to it. They heard the Navy was coming in. So one of our torpedo boats sank they sank the ship, you know, so it'd go down. And we turned back. The other guy ran out of gas. I don't know how. So we were towing him. Then we came across a bunch of bodies, and all we were doing was
Americans.
Yeah, sailors. They were. You could see they were shot through the head. The Jap Navy after they were in the water, and we were cutting life jackets off because they were half-eaten. Hands were going, the legs were going.
Sharks were there?
Huh?
Were sharks in the water?
The what?
Any sharks?
Oh yeah, they're loaded with sharks. They did a job on them, and all we did was try to cut the bodies away. But then we went to shore because they knew the ships were coming in to shell us, and they came and they had that big battle.
Once you landed,
yeah.
What did you do? What was your job? Now you landed.
Well, the pioneers, we controlled the beach. Anything ships coming in, we'd make sure they were unloaded. They'd get work parties. At first, we did the unload ourselves, you know, our companies. But this way, they got work parties from the infantry also to help unload these things. You know.
So you were doing a lot of unloading.
Oh, we did. I didn't see my rifle for 2 days because we were just.
Now the Tenaroo River was one.
Oh,
of the
now
rivers.
there's the Tenor. We were on one side of Tenaroo, and one day they moved us. They took us out of the. But it wasn't the Tenaroo, it was the Elu. They thought it was the Tenaroo River. But they made it, it was reversed. But anyway, they took us and brought us on the same side, on the airfield side of the river. And we set a second line from the edge of the airfield in back of well, in fact, that battle of the Tenaroo, they fought all night, and we were just waiting to be called up or something. We didn't know what was going on, but when daybreak came, there's no fighting going on. But they called us up, and we had to go through the dead bodies and. Well, they were shooting everybody, so we were shooting dead bodies, and if anything we thought moved, we shot it again because...
On the lighter side, the Tenaroo, did they ever go fishing? How they fished in the Tenaroo? They caught fish, you know.
Oh, yeah, they did.
How?
Huh?
How?
Hand grenades. Oh, yeah.
They threw hand grenades.
But you know, one of those rivers had these... piranhas. I don't know whether it was a Tenaroo or another, because that Tenaroo, we were trying, this later on, we were setting up a bridge across it, and I was like an idiot. I always volunteered for it. That was my main trouble. They put plates under the bottom, so somebody had to go and put it underwater, underneath. So there was 3 of us were doing all this there, but we didn't know about any piranhas.
Bonsai attacks. Did you come across some?
We were close. We were right next to the big one that was up on the hill there. That overlooks the airfield.
Can you describe what happens? What do the Japanese do in the bonsai attack?
Well, I was never right in the direct.
Seen the bodies?
But you could hear them yelling from where we were. We were maybe a quarter of a mile away, but on a line. But all the fighting was here, and we were right here, and you could hear yelling and. And the sound of their rifle, their machine guns were different from ours. Ours were louder because they had the 25s. You could tell which ones they were, because especially the machine guns, you could hear them go for a while, then you hear a big blast, and you wouldn't hear any more from that. Somebody got it,
The main reason we attacked Guadalcanal, why?
Well, they're afraid of Australia.
Yeah, how about they wanted to capture the airfield, right?
Well, they wanted the airfield bad. Yeah, they knew they were about half done with the airfield already.
Yeah. While you were there, washing machine Charlie.
Oh, we lost some.
What was it?
It was one plane flying around as
Japanese.
if... Yeah, Japanese. It was flying around as if it was ready to come down crashing. It was, it'd sputter and it'd circle. And,
how often?
Oh, maybe until the fuel...
Every night or?
Just about every night.
It come at night?
At night, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drop any bombs?
Because, we lost about 6 guys in the third platoon where they dropped. They only dropped 2 or 3 bombs, but they landed right near them and killed 6 of them.
Who was your CO on Guadalcanal? Company commander.
We had 5 captains in. They're all lieutenants, And all of them got a raise while we were there.
The battalion commander, Colonel Rowan, that's familiar?
He was a major, wasn't he?
Okay.
I thought he was.
Now, how about the Battle of Bloody Ridge or Edson's?
Well, that's
That's at the Tenaroo? No, that's high ground. This is high ground.
Yeah, this is on the other end of the airfield.
You can tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's where now see, the paratroops were there.
Mm-hmm.
They were what was left of them. They put them there, right there. They got the brunt of that one too. Mm. In fact, I think it was about, out of the whole battalion, there's only 199 of them went out on their own feet. You know, they either wounded or killed out of the whole battalion. They were beaten so bad.
All this time while you're on the island, does the Japanese Navy have free rides offshore? What were they doing?
They were shelling us all every night. We were in our foxholes all the time.
Hmm. Well, they had free range. They had no resistance.
No. They were. In fact, they used to bring supplies in and take the wounded out on submarines. You know, they'd bring them out. And this one ship, the ship we were on, it was an Al-Sheba, the name of the ship. That captain, he'd do anything for our outfit, you know. He used to send some food from the ship.
Wow. When
he'd bring supplies, he'd have some special food for us. But he came, and in fact, some of our guys were still on that ship. Like I say, half of them were on that ship unloading it. And when they took off, and in that big battle, one of the ships, there was a Australian cruiser. He put his flashlights on, and they put it right on Americans, and they fired back, and they were the ones that sank the Australian ship. But it didn't go right down, and the Al-Sheba tried to tow it into the Tulagi Harbor, but they couldn't make it.
Did the Marines eventually capture the island, the airport?
Oh yeah.
What did we name that airport?
Henderson.
Henderson Field.
Henderson Field, yeah.
They finally captured it.
There was nothing. There's no fighting over that at all, you know.
And did the Japs try to take it back?
Oh yeah, the first one was the Battle of the Tenaroo. Yeah. It was about a battalion of Japanese. They landed right on the beach where we left the day before, to come back to be where we tightened our circle because we didn't have the troops. We had one guy every 5 yards apiece. Mm-hmm. You're in the hole all by yourself. This is Guadalcanal now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, everything you move, you got to see it yourself, and they learn. After that all the other battles, there was always two together. Yeah. They had two. I mean, they learned so much.
Well, that was our very first battle that we attacked any island.
Because
so it was a learning process.
Every place else we had two in a hole.
How long did you stay on Guadalcanal?
August. I think we left around June, December, close to Christmas.
You ever hear the Tokyo Express? How did the Japs reinforce?
Wow, they'd bring them from
at night.
Yeah, well, they controlled most of the ocean.
Yeah.
Even daytime, never mind night. But
they'd bring,
yeah.
You never know how many Japanese were on the island.
They came now. You know where Cape Gloucester, Rebo was on the other end of that island. That's where they used to bring all the reinforcement from Raybul. They could make it, bring in supplies, and they'd land on the tip of Guadalcanal.
I'm going to get into that next. On Guadalcanal, did you have any visitors from your family?
Oh, my sister knew where I was, and she tried to get the Red Cross to take her to see me. But we were already on, what is it, Pavuvu? I don't know whether it was Good Enough Island or Pavuvu, the first one. And they let me know, they says they'll get me to see her on, she was on Guadalcanal. That's where they...
She got on. That was Millie?
Millie, yeah. Yeah, so that's how I met her.
Okay, after you got off Guadalcanal, you went to Cape Gloucester? Did you go directly?
No. We went to Australia. We were in Australia from after Guadalcanal.
Okay.
I weighed about 168, 170 pounds when we landed. When I left, I weighed 126. So they took us to Australia. Was the first place. Yeah.
And what did you do there?
Ate. They fed us anything we wanted.
Yeah.
And they fattened us up again and reinforced. So you brought more troops, build the outfits back together again, and we played ball. We had a pretty good team too.
Yeah.
So we were teaching them how to play ball. We'd be play our game, and then we'd all these women wanted to play ball, so we used to umpire and show them how to play ball. We had a blast there, right?
Okay, so they rebuilt you there.
Yeah, they built.
So we go into the next year on December 26th, the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
You
we were on a ship that held 200 troops. They're narrow. They had to have an entrance, two entrances, one on each side in the middle, one going. And when you come up, you had to alternate. You couldn't go on one side. We could have tipped the ship over. So we went in on that one that way. 200 of it. You go right down the ladder, right out onto the water, out of the. They're already on the beach almost.
How did you spend Christmas?
How?
Yeah.
Fighting.
So Christmas, you were on the boat?
We were on a boat or on, I think we were on the island already. Yeah. And it rained for 28 out of the first 30 days we were there. Our feet were so shriveled, our legs, our hands. All we do is take our clothes off, rinse them, put them right back on, and that's as dry as we got. And they gave us hammocks. We had hammocks. It had a hammock, had a screen, little net for keep the mosquitoes out. The only thing is you couldn't get in and out of it very well. But that's the only place we ever had hammocks.
This is on Cape Gloucester.
Yeah.
Okay, you landed on the north side of the island. Now Cape Gloucester is a big island with Rabaul is on the other end.
On the outside, yeah.
Naval base for
the big
Japanese.
Rabaul was a Japanese. There was a big.
You guys are attacking the north end.
Yeah, they had a small airfield there too.
Tell me about going in. Did you meet many resistance?
Not. We did, but not quite as bad as the others yet, because they weren't quite that established there yet. They were building an airfield there on that end too, to get closer to Australia. They were getting ready to go to Australia again, so.
So you had the same duties?
Yeah, well, not as much. That's why they used us any place they wanted. They put us on a line, and that's why they asked for volunteers to do this or that. We'd go. We'd go sometimes when they told us we're not.
So you volunteered?
I volunteered for this. And,
okay, you volunteered for
Litter.
Because there's why? There was a battle going on?
Well, they were preparing to move towards Rebu.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far they were going to go or not, but and they needed stretcher bearers, but they got us a little late, and we figured it'd take a while to get there. We might not make it the first day, and that's why we had to dig in. We were a little ways away, but we didn't dare move after dark. So
how many men?
8. There was just 8 of us.
And you're on a trail?
We were on well, whatever. Whatever they made it. Somebody made it very recently.
You dug in for the night.
We dug in for the night.
What happened?
Then, all I know is, I think I was the first one to wake up. While we were, half of us were awake all the time. In fact, I was awake most of the time. I woke up fast. I was on my toes all the time, and I saw something, a shadow, like, because it was dark, and I blasted. I emptied my rifle right away. I was putting my second clip in, and then all of a sudden it stopped firing, and we just stayed there. And it started getting light, and I see this. The rifle, this here was pointed at me, maybe from here to the windowsill away from me. And the guy, it was still in a Jap's hand, and he got hit. I know he got hit all over. And
was it out of the saber?
Huh?
Was it out?
Oh yeah, the saber was out.
Just hold that up. You can hold that up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Where is it?
Little button there.
Yeah.
So how far away from you was this?
Oh, he was no more than 6 feet away from me when he fell. Yeah.
Daylight came. How many dead Japs?
Well, there was 5 or 6 of them in all.
Anybody get hurt in your?
No, we all got good. We must have surprised them.
How long were you on Cape Gloucester?
Well, let's see. I know it's rained for the first 28 days. At least 30 days and maybe more, yeah.
Did General MacArthur visit there?
Yeah, he come to visit us, but yeah, he was gonna. We were unloading a ship, and what comes in of it? This it was a Higgins boat. It was a small boat that he was in, and the boat comes up. The photographers got out on beach. They didn't get wet hardly at all, and then they backed the thing out into the water a little bit, and he gets out. He's walking in the water up to his knees. And none of us were going to meet him. And the photographers looked at our lieutenant. Aren't you going to go greet him? Nobody wanted to go out, But then all of a sudden, the lieutenant says, if you don't go, I'm going to be in big trouble. So we went out and we had to greet him.
You shook his hand?
I didn't. I was there though, but I didn't get there. Most of them got a little Yeah, him and that corn cob pipe. Well, we never liked him.
No.
So
How long did you stay on Cape Gloucester? Now, we didn't occupy the island, right? Because
they stayed there. They stayed there. They stayed
even
there.
with the big Japanese
we-
naval
they-
base on the other end?
Yeah, but they were using our field. That airfield that they were building there. That's what because they were going to move the 2nd or 3rd division, I think, landed further up.
How big an island was Peleliu, Cape Gloucester? How long was it? What was the distance between where you landed and Rabaul with the Japanese naval?
I thought somebody said it was around 300 miles.
Oh.
It was a
Big
real
island.
big island. Yeah, Rabaul was a big naval base too.
Yeah.
Next to Truk.
Okay, you left Cape Gloucester.
Okay, that's where we went to Pavuvu after that.
Pavuvu was an island nearby.
Yeah, well, it was a little ways away.
Now,
Closer to
what
us.
did we do? Did we invade that, or was it already taken?
No, it was London. It was closer to Australia.
Oh, okay, so you
Yeah,
went there.
yeah. There's nobody wanted that. It was all muddy all. Everywhere you go, your truck would make dig ruts, and we'd be pushing trucks out of the. But
That was on September 15th,
in fact,
1944.
Bob Hope came down to visit us too on Pavuvu. Yeah,
And whether he put on a show?
oh yeah.
Did he have any of the other actresses with her? Like,
Oh yeah, Randall
Langford.
Scott was with him. There was what the heck, that funny guy.
Jerry Colonna?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
And a few girls, but I didn't know.
You landed on Peleliu. Much resistance when you went in?
Peleliu. Let's see. I was going to go in on the second
Wave.
because I had the poles and I was going to set the line. But the boats ahead of us, they're all loaded with guns on the boats. They were Amtraks, and then they went ashore with the machine gunners, and that's all that was in them, you know. And we came, and then we started going, and all of a sudden they decided to let the third wave join us, and two waves went together and landed second, landed in, you know. Well, I got maybe, I was lucky. had a nice place to put my flags up. Once I got the flags up, they made a runner out of me. And the major that was a shore master, see, we had, you didn't have the telephone. If they had a telephone, they used to chop it up, the wires, they chopped the wires up with the tracks and everything. And they didn't have such good communication, so he wouldn't get in touch, he couldn't get in touch with some of his friends. So I had to go look for them, see how far they went. And I mean, I was on the edge, and sometimes I wouldn't see nothing until I saw a bunch of dead Marines where they got hit by shrapnel. I said, "Whoop, that's too far to go." But that's all I was doing for that whole day, and I said, "Oh, jeez." But 2 days later, they pushed us. Oh, they went across the airfield, and then they pushed us up, put us up on a line up on up in the hills, the mountains, the hills, the shop. You'd have the little cliffs side, maybe a little about 3 or 4 feet, then another one, you know, and then you could see across. And well, in fact, when we got a bunch of replacements, and before this, and one of the first guys that went up the hill, he went a little too far. He got it right between the eyes, and most of us saw it. And he fell down into the first valley, you know. And well, we got dug in right where we could, as far as we could, but we'd heard noise, we'd throw a grenade or something. But that was like that. One night, I was in possession. I swore I saw this outline of a person, and I had that rifle pointed at that target for at least a half an hour. And I didn't want to fire. I mean, I wasn't sure, you know, but it's sometimes you're on nerves, you know.
Yeah.
But
how long were you on Peleliu?
I don't know. Wait a minute. It's on there anyway.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's quite a few days.
All right. Tell me some of the equipment that you wore when you went in on the beach.
Oh, on Guadalcanal we had the leggings.
Mm-hmm.
But we got sand and enough shoes, our legs. So we took them off and never wore them again. In fact, we never had to wear them anymore.
How about grenades and what kind of rifle did you carry?
On Guadalcanal we had the 03. That was nice, but that had 5 shells.
It's a clip?
5, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it was a little clip of 5. But then we got the grand. After that, they gave us that was an 8 bullet clip, you know.
When there was a perimeter set up, did you take part in that?
Oh yeah.
What did you do?
I mean, we'd dig in and.
Now, how about half-cocked hand grenades? Were you?
When we set the line up, we had a.
Tell us about that.
Well, we'd get down below our dug-in position,
Yeah.
and we'd get cans of things, anything we could, so we could, if they moved, we could hear, you know, we'd put rocks, little pebbles in them, and hang them on the branches, and they'd hear that, and these half-cocked hand grenades would get put in where they could trip a wire and it'd go off. But then we had to take them. That was the hard part. You never know what was moved, or you know. And
did you make many friends while you were in the Marines?
Friends?
Friends you make.
Oh yeah, they're all your friends most. Although on Peleliu, we went on a patrol, and we got to dig in for the first night, and they were fighting further down the line, and where we were dug in, the Japs were coming from where they landed. They were coming right under the hill, on a hill where we were. They were in a little valley, like, and you could hear them talking and everything. And We didn't know. We didn't shoot because we didn't. That was only our company was there. Was there? That's all. And the guy that was with me, he panicked. He's making noise, and I tried to stop him. Couldn't stop him. I said, "Hey, you're gonna get us in trouble. They're gonna hear us." But I couldn't hold him, and finally, finally the sergeant came down, and he tried to calm the guy with me, but he couldn't do it. So he took him back in back of the line. I never saw him. They took him back, and the next day they took him. Brought him back to the beach. He was gone. And I never heard from him again.
Where were you discharged from?
Camp Pendleton.
Pendleton?
Yeah.
In South Carolina?
Oh, not.
Quantico?
No, this is out. Oh, the West Coast.
Oh, West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Pendleton is in California?
Yeah. That's a big race down there. In fact, I was stationed at Oceanside most of the time, right on the beach, because I don't know why they put me there, but I was on.
You got discharged. You got home. You got married. You had a family. How many? You have any children?
2 children, one boy and a girl.
Okay.